Let's talk about how to tune your violin, and the first thing we have to know is what the names of the strings are that we're aiming for. And the thinnest string, the first one is E, and then A, D, G. And the sort of mnemonic or the song that I still remember when I learned as a little youngster is each and every ant, digging in the dirt, all the way to grease. Or maybe it was ground. Anyways, E, A, D, G. It's a very memorable little song, and that is where we are heading. It does take a bit of dexterity and aural skills to be able to do this efficiently, so I don't really expect 4-year-olds to be able to do this on their own without help from their parents or teachers or mentors. And also, I recommend getting a tuner or an app on your phone that will help you with this sort of aural skills listening part. I've got some links below to tuners and apps. It doesn't really matter. They all pretty much do the same thing. Let's get started by assuming that your strings are just completely loose. There's basically no pitch to them at all. Let's start with tuning the A string, which is the second string, and that is the peg that's up here. Now there's two methods. We want to use the pegs for bigger changes and the fine tuners for fine adjustments. We want to set our tuner to A440. That's just sort of the US standard of 440 hertz is our measurement for A. Other countries, the European countries, often tune a little bit higher. You do you, okay? We'll catch up someday. So we want to turn the A string peg away from us, and I really recommend plucking the string as you're going to make sure that you're turning the right string and that you don't go too far. So one of the things you'll notice right away is that this peg always wants to flip back, like it won't stay put. So you really have to push the peg in to the peg box as you're turning the string in order for it to stay put. So I want to get this string up to A. E, I'm still pretty low. I'm at G. Okay, there. I'm pretty close. All right, so now I've got that pretty close. Let's do the same thing to tune the D string. Right now, it's basically not registering. I'm at C, I need to go one more. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's take a break and do the G. And lastly, let's do the E. All right, so you're doing great. We're about halfway there. We've got some good tension on our strings, but it's a good point to take a little break and hear a word from our sponsors, MeUndies. I wish, no. We're gonna take a little break and check to make sure that your bridge is still straight. If it's starting to lean forward because we've pulled the strings and which pulls the bridge, it could keep going and fall over and we'd have to start all over again. So just check and make sure that's still straight. While we're still have a little bit less tension, you can kind of pull the bridge back. I would use 2 hands. I've got another video about that specifically, but just check to make sure that that is still standing up straight. I don't focus on getting one string perfectly in tune right away because it's a lot like making your bed. If the comforter is on the floor, you gotta grab one corner and you go put that perfectly in one side, and then you gotta go around to the other side of the bed and put that corner, perfectly. But when you pull on the comforter, it messes up the other side, so then you gotta go back and you gotta just pull on it a little bit, and then you gotta go to the other side and you gotta pull on that a little bit. And tuning your violin is exactly the same way. When you get your E string perfectly in tune, then that messes up the G string slide, and then you got to go back to the E, and then you got to fix the D and the A, and it's basically the same thing. So once we have it roughly in tune using our pegs, then we can focus a little bit more on just using the fine tuners to get it perfectly in tune. Okay, let's go back to our A string and use the fine tuners to get it really close. So right now this says I'm at A flat. I'm gonna keep going up. I'm turning it clockwise. And that looks pretty good. Let's try the E. Let's try the D. C sharp, a little bit more. There we go. A little high. It's pretty good. Okay. You get a little bit purer intonation by playing with your bow. And what I do is just bow and then make a little adjustment. Maybe this looks like I need to bring the A up a little bit. Still just slightly low, so then I just turn it just a little bit. It's pretty good. Let's look at the E. It's looking pretty good. Could go up just a little bit. Let's look at the D. That looks pretty good. And a little high. That's a better way of playing and then making adjustments. As you get more advanced, you'll be able to sort of make adjustments and turn the fine tuners while you're playing. But this is a complicated movement, and so I don't expect beginners to be able to do that, or especially not adjust the pegs while they're playing. That's a much more advanced skill. So just work on playing, just testing it, and then make a little adjustment and go for it like that. I really recommend starting out like this, using a device that can listen to you. As you get more advanced, you can use devices that will play the A for you, and you can compare, oh, I'm too low compared to that. And you can work on matching the pitch like that, because that simulates what you have to do in orchestra, or when you're playing with other musicians, you have to match their pitch. But that's a much more advanced skill. If you get to the point where you've maxed out your fine tuner and you can't turn it anymore, what you're gonna have to do is loosen it all the way up, not too far, you wanna make sure that it's still grabbing, and then turn the peg and get it a little closer, and then you'll have more room to use your fine tuner again. I also want to stress that as a beginner, it's best just to tune each string to the tuner. As you get more advanced, you'll be able to tune the strings to each other and use them as a reference point. For instance, when we play the two strings together, which playing double stops is an advanced skill, you can hear that these two pitches aren't agreeing. They're not in sync together. So that is how you tune one string to another string, but don't worry about that at this point. You'll be able to do that when the time comes. Throughout this whole process, don't forget to push the pegs into the peg box as you're turning. And now that you're in tune, it's time to go practice. Hey, before I lose you to the rest of the internet, if you're ready to learn how to start playing the violin or improve the skills that you already have with a step-by-step plan that actually works, I encourage you to check out my course over at onviolin.com. It's fun, it's flexible, and it's built for making real progress. I'd love to help you get started, and I look forward to working with you more on violin.com.